And now we go via satellite to 92.9's very own El Donzo is on location. Hurricane Hillary is supposed to be making landfall. Let's go live to El Donzo right now.
Yeah, thanks, Chet. It's really terrible out here. I'm down in Southern California right now, and Hurricane Hillary has just been upgraded to a Cat 4. A Cat 4. Chet, oh boy, this is bad. I'm getting reports that it's changing course, Chet, from Southern California to the Rachel Maddow show, Chet. Chet, it's Hurricane Hillary.
What is it, El Donzo?
She's gone from suck to blow.
Coming at you from the Skyhammer Studios here on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. This is the El Donzo and D Show.
You have insanity in my earpiece.
Oh, there's insanity in my earpiece too. D's, how about you?
I'm D's.
Yeah, I'm El Donzo. No, seriously, I know I got a little off there. It's been one of those weeks. There's a lot going on. There's a lot we want to get to talk about today on the show. We're going to go everything. We're going to do some stories about the wildfires in Hawaii. We're going to open up with that. We've got these Georgia indictments coming out of Fulton County against Trump. You know, I almost wanted to talk about Joe Biden today because that's important news, the Biden crime family, what's going on. But I don't know, D's. What's more important, the Biden crime family or that our country's turning into a banana republic with this Trump thing?
I mean, at this point, does it matter?
I mean, either or, we're screwed. I just feel in a perpetual state of screwed. We have a lot of stories to get to today, and also inflation. There's a lot of folks out there that don't know how inflation works, and I was surprised to figure this out. I didn't figure it out. Somebody actually said something to me about it. And they say you'd be amazed at how many people don't understand how cost of goods and inflation ties together. So that kind of got me thinking maybe we need to talk about that a little bit. And after talking to a few other folks, I realized that was the case. So we're going to get to that. We have a lot of stories to cover on this episode. And Virus Seal, D's.
Yes.
How was your week?
No animals tried to kill me, so we're already a step up from last week.
That's good. That's good.
Other than I'm just realizing that I'm old and tired.
You are old.
Yeah, this flooring thing, working on my hands and knees all day gets pretty rough.
I bet it does. I mean, you're no spring chicken anymore, man. You should
finding that out.
You know what you should do? What I heard somebody told me one time that's a really good option is you should go into radio. I heard you make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. I'm waiting.
And it's really easy on you. I don't know. It sounds like a good deal to me. We should try it sometime. What do you think there, Dean?
Yeah, I think sounds like a plan.
You know, I want to talk about this Hawaiian thing. So the wildfires in Hawaii, I think what's the death toll, the official death toll up to? Was it 110 people?
Yeah, 110, but there's still, I want to say, over 1,000 missing. So when it's all said and done and, they complete this entire cover-up, it'll probably be around 1,000 to 1,100 people.
So one thing that really chaps my bottom is when people or entities or businesses or whatever, what have you, government, talks about what they need to do. They sit down and they have meetings and they say, well, we really need to do this. And then the next week they have a meeting and they say, we really need to do this. And this goes so on and so forth for months and maybe even years on end. They say they need to do it, but they never actually act on it. And then one day they get a phone call and say, hey, that thing that you said we always should have done and we didn't do, yeah, well, it bit us in the butt because what we said was going to happen happened. Now, that's something I've seen a lot in the corporate world. That's something I've seen a lot in businesses. So it wasn't really surprising to see that Hawaiian Electric dropped the ball with this whole Hawaiian wildfire thing. Have you seen this, Deez?
Yeah, it sounds to me like a lot of people dropped the ball. And,
it does. But this was all in the name for green energy, though. What Hawaiian Electric did. They knew their infrastructure was screwed.
There's a lot of people that think it runs deeper than Hawaiian Energy.
I'm sure it does, and until we get some actual report out of there, I can't say much about that. There was also the conspiracy theories, too, that, Bill Gates' place didn't burn down, and Oprah's place didn't burn down. And
you know what is very interesting, though?
Yes, what's that?
So you remember the Las Vegas shooting that was orchestrated by our government, right?
Yeah, Stephen Paddock, supposedly, yeah.
Yeah.
That they never
Right.
solved, by the way.
Right, yeah.
Nobody knows anything about Stephen Paddock. He's a ghost.
A 60-some-year-old man toted up an arsenal without being seen by an entire or any security cams in a Vegas casino.
Please.
Yeah, no, that happened. Anyway.
And they didn't kill, and the CIA didn't kill Kennedy either.
Right. The police chief during that shooting,
Yeah.
you know what he does now?
Tell us these.
He's the police chief in that community in Maui.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, so these are interesting things.
Go down that dark rabbit hole.
You know, this is one of those things that Dees likes to say, allegedly.
No, not allegedly.
No, he is. I'm just saying, allegedly, the government was behind the Stephen Paddock thing. Allegedly, that's what I'm pointing at.
Allegedly, my ass.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on, though, in the United States today, so you can never be too vigilant. You know, if you see something, say something. So anyway, Hawaiian Electric was aware that their infrastructure was screwed. They even said in 2019 that they needed to invest more in preventing its power lines from sparking and, you know, causing wildfires. Consulting California's efforts to reduce wildfires, the company even drafted a plan to install more insulated conductors, fire retardant poles, and more aggressive monitoring technology. But guess what? They didn't do it. They invested roughly about $250,000 on wildfire projects. Did not request state permission to raise rates to pay for wildfire prevention until 2022, but by then it was all too late. Now, Mina Morita, who chaired Hawaiian's Utility Commission from 2011 to 2015, told the Journal, "You have to look at the scope and scale of the transformation within Hawaiian Electric. That was occurring throughout the system. While there was concern for wildfire risk, politically the focus was on electricity generation. They were going green. Their biggest thing was to go green. So instead of taking care of the infrastructure they had and getting that ready and getting it prepped so it wouldn't cause wildfires, they went green, 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 green." And I'm pulling up Dees, can you look at this? Does that look very green to you right now? No, I don't think it does.
Several shades of gray and not in the...
Gray and brown is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. So this whole thing. Now, another issue I got with this. We are about 150 billion in Ukraine right now with aid.
And counting.
And counting. And I think he wants another 200 million, Joe Biden does, to go to Ukraine. So you've all heard my rant about this Ukraine deal. We will not take care of our own borders, but we're over there taking care of Ukraine. I'm not saying we shouldn't be giving aid to Ukraine by any stretch of the imagination, Dees. But I'm not saying we should not help anybody. But this is a proxy war that we're fighting, and it could very potentially get us into a nuclear war, a third world war. This is bad stuff. And we are draining ourselves financially and militarily to do this.
Did you just say we should? You're not saying we shouldn't give money to Ukraine?
No. I'm not saying that we shouldn't not give aid to people. Big difference. Big difference. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No. Stop. We've got way too much going on here to, especially. I mean,
humanitarian aid is what I mean.
A little bit here and there, whatever. But for us to sit there and finance entire nations,
that's a different story. That's not what I'm talking about.
Happened for our whole lives.
I agree, and that's not what I was referring to.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Some aid, help out humanitarily. We should do that. That's fine. But to literally cripple ourselves and, like you said, bankroll whole nations, we shouldn't be doing it. So this is the issue I got with this, folks.
Hey, but don't worry. Families in Maui are going to get $700.
Yeah, $700. This is President Biden on X. We don't call it Twitter anymore. We call it X. He said, "We're laser focused on getting aid to survivors, including critical needs assistance. A one-time $700 payment per household offering relief during an unimaginably difficult time. We have staff on the ground dedicated to helping survivors navigate the registration process." I got an idea. You know what probably helped the people of Hawaii out more than that? Is if Russia invaded them. Think about that.
Right?
Then all the mayors in Hawaii and the state government would be billionaires.
Absolutely.
And we would give them all the money we've got in America right now. What would be better for that than Hawaii? Think about that, folks. The best thing that can happen for some state, all right, even though Hawaii, I don't agree with a lot of things Hawaii does, the best thing that could happen for Hawaii is Russia to invade it, and they get all the money they wanted. Instead, people that had their homes burned down, They're already paying an exorbitant amount of money to live there. And the $700 one-time payment?
But see, that won't happen for the simple fact that because they are a U.S. state, he wouldn't be able to launder all this money through them.
Oh, that's right. It's got to be another foreign entity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can't be a part of NATO, can it?
Unless he uses the good old Robert L. Peters name.
Exactly. Robert L. Peters, which he was using, mind you, while he was vice president. That's how he was communicating with his son's foreign business partners.
Yep.
That came out. We're going to cover that in the next segment, too, after we get done with the whole Hawaii shenanigans. We've got more coming up on this, though, folks. This is one that I really want to get to. We're going to get into this in the next segment. Karine Jean-Pierre. You know, I really love her. She is America's first black lesbian French press secretary. And she is stupid. I mean, she's not intelligent, Deez. We've covered this enough on the show, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, she literally is stupid. Anybody that goes out there to the podium and doesn't even research what the hell they're going to say baffles my mind. Anyway, we'll be back with that, and you're gonna hear some fooly monkey shines coming out of her mouth right here on the El Donzo and Deez Show on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. Hey, we're back on the El Donzo and Deez Show, coming at you on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. I'm El Donzo.
I'm Deez.
Is that better, Deez?
Yes.
Hey, I want to give a shout out. Well, actually, not a shout out, an apology, I guess it is. Last week, you know, I very seldom mix names up. Do I not, Deez?
No, you're pretty good.
I'm pretty good.
I didn't catch it until I was re-listening to it, and then I was like, what'd you say? Drive walks. Drive walks. That was
yeah,
what
I said,
you said.
Well, that's the first one. I said
Yeah.
drive walks. Instead of driveways and sidewalks and patios and lions and tigers and bears, oh my, I said drive walks. And I listened back there, I'm like, what the hell's a drive walk? You know, I guess it was one of those things. We kind of rushed that show, but I don't know. I'm not making up excuses. We did that. I referred to Carrie Lake, the gubernatorial candidate for Arizona, as Carrie Clark.
Yeah.
Which I know a Carrie Clark. I think that's why I did it. And then I called Peter Ducey Steve Ducey. Did you catch that one?
No, I didn't even catch that one.
Yeah, well, guess who did? My mom. And I heard all about it. Thanks, Mom. But hey, you know what? It could be worse. My mom could be Jesse Waters' mom, I guess, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, Karine Jean-Pierre. Here's another one that mispronounced stuff. But look, sometimes El Donzo, you know, you're in the zone, you're going, I get it. But I'm not in front of the White House press corps doing this. Would you agree, Deez?
Yeah.
Now, I also don't mislabel people by their genders unless they're going by a fake gender. Then guilty as charged. If it's, I identify as a woman, yeah, you're a dude, whatever. You got a penis, you're a dude. You know, but I don't mess that up. Karine Jean-Pierre went off the deep end. So Mazie Hirono is a senator from Hawaii. And we haven't talked about her much. There's not a lot of reason to really talk about her, I don't think.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her? I have. Does that sound like a feminine name to you?
Say it again.
Mazie Hirono.
Yeah, that's... Yes.
That does, right? Sounds like... Okay, well, I'm going to play this soundbite. This is Karine Jean-Pierre on Monday. And roll it.
Senator Horino, who I said the president spoke to just last night, he thanked the president for the immediate support of federal agencies have delivered for residents of Hawaii.
Oh, one more time. Listen to this, Deez.
I heard
Senator Horino, who I said the president spoke to just last night, he thanked the president for the immediate...
He thanked the president. So, let's go back. We're going to do it one more time. Listen real close to this. Mazie Hirono.
Senator Horino, who I said the president spoke to just last night, he thanked the president...
Okay, so first of all, it's Hirono, not Horino. And second of all, it's a chick. I mean, not like one of those chicks like you see nowadays. It's like the twig and berries going. Like, it's an actual chick.
I still stand by what I said about her a few months back. She's just mailing it in because she is so beaten down by having to get up there every day and defend that walking corpse.
Hey, she took the job.
I agree.
All right? And somebody flipping picked her for this. Can you believe that, man?
Are we sure that somebody picked her for it, or was it just that nobody else wants to do it?
I don't think anybody... Well, Peppermint Patty's not there anymore. She got the hell out of Dodge, and I can't blame her for that. So anyway, this Hawaiian deal, and then, of course, Karine Jean-Pierre. Who knows what's going to come out of her dumb mouth next? Now,
she was probably a housekeeper at the Motel 6 outside of Baltimore somewhere. They're like, hey, look, we need somebody to just come up here and take all of the...
She was a French maid.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she... Obviously, you can just tell by her attitude. Like, the last place she wants to be on this planet is on that podium, talking to people, fielding questions about
from Peter
the
Ducey.
worst president in the history of the world.
So I got this thing. So this broke in the past week. The indictments from Georgia against Trump. Have you gotten a chance to read into this?
Yeah, a little bit. It's all just BS, but
there is so much stupidity here, but there's a reason for it. This is done by design, what they're doing in Georgia right now. Okay? It's absolutely done by design. It's hard to figure out where to start, but none of these charges stack up. Okay? They don't. This is why George Soros has been bankrolling these prosecutors and these judges for a moment like this. This is when you think, well, state and local governments can't do squat. This is it right here. This is the big thing. All right? So Trump's got, how many indictments did they get him for this?
10 or 11, something like that.
It's a lot. I think it's more than that. But it's a lot, and it's all BS because it all revolves around the RICO Act. Are you familiar with the RICO Act?
Yeah.
All right. So for those that don't know, the RICO Act is the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations. Okay.
Basically, it was designed to go after the mob in its entirety. And in fact, Rudy Giuliani, who is also indicted in that case, was one of the, I don't know about inventors, but one of the first to use the RICO Act when he went after the mob, the Gotti family, I believe.
I think it was the Gotti family. We'll get into that in the list of people that have gone through this. There must be a specific relationship between defendants and the so-called enterprise. This is all about conspiracy, okay? This is all about a group of people that are conspiring to do something that is fraudulent, that is not true. Let's see if I can find a better definition here of this. Here we go. So, RICO predicate offenses. Any violation of state statutes against gambling, murder, kidnapping, extortion, arson, robbery, or bribery, dealing in obscene matter, any act of bribery, counterfeiting, theft, embezzlement, fraud, obstruction of justice, slavery, racketeering, gambling, embezzlement of union funds, bankruptcy, fraud, or securities fraud, drug trafficking, copyright infringement, money laundering, the bringing in, aiding, or assisting aliens, from outer space. No, of course, illegal aliens. And acts of terrorism.
These days, you never know. It's 11 counts, by the way.
11 counts. I knew I was more than 10. So, under the law, that is the meaning of racketeering activity. And that's how they go and they get these crime families. The Lucchese crime family, the Cowboy Mafia, Hell's Angels, Key West Police Department was declared a criminal enterprise under the federal RICO statutes after a lengthy United States Department of Justice investigation. Several high-ranking officers of the department, including Deputy Police Chief Raymond Casimir, were arrested on federal charges of running a protection racket for illegal cocaine smugglers. Pretty big stuff, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Gambino crime family with John Gotti. They hit the Bonanno crime family, the Chicago outfit, Mohawk. It's just all these people that were actually committing crimes. So what they're doing is they're taking the RICO Act and they're twisting it around because they want to produce intent to commit a crime. They want people to think, and they want the jury to find it or the judge to find it, that Trump and his lawyers didn't think they won the election, that they knew they were committing fraud, that they didn't believe it, and they were trying to sway people. So I've got a list. Let's see how much time we got here. We got a little bit of time to go into this. I've got this list real quick. Here are the people that are being indicted and charged. Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Mark Meadows, Jeffrey Clark, Jenna Ellis is being charged. So what they're doing, this is a big thing when you look into this. Not only are they going after Trump, but they're going after his lawyers and the people that stood by him. What they're doing is they are sending a message to anybody that dares and tries to do what Donald Trump has done. You will be guilty as well. His lawyers, his aides, his assistants. Look at what they did with the Mar-a-Lago thing with, I can't remember the guys. Yeah. Walt Nagata.
And they added the third one in the second round of those indictments.
They're going to pull
Oliveira or whatever his name was.
They're going to pull everybody down with Trump if they can do it. And I'm going to tell you why they stand a snowball's chance in hell. You got to remember this.
They even got Georgia's Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones on the indictment.
So this is the Fulton County Sheriff's doing this. Okay, he's part of this. Brian Kemp can't even pardon Trump. The federal government can't pardon Trump because this is not a federal crime. They're doing this in the state. They're doing it in the county of Florida. Or, excuse me, in the county of Fulton. See, I just did another one, didn't I? Mm-hmm. In the county of Fulton. Which means even if Donald Trump got elected, he would not be able to pardon himself. Now, a lot of this stems around alternate electors.
Yeah, there are, I just saw it, 11 of the co-conspirators, 12, I'm sorry, 13, there's another one, are the fake electors.
They're alternate electors.
Well, whatever. False, fake.
All of them, no, they're alternate electors. Everybody chooses their own electors. This goes back to the election in 1960. Okay? I'm going to pull a few more details of that up right here, but this goes back to the election of 1960. So, Nixon initially had 140 more votes in Hawaii than Kennedy did. Okay? Kennedy's electors went ahead and signed and certified that he won it. A couple weeks later, and then Nixon's did his too. A couple weeks, because Nixon actually had him sign and certify, but Kennedy's did as well. A couple weeks later, they had the recount, they looked into it, and Kennedy actually had won it. But that's why you have an alternate set of electors. That's why you do that for cases like this. This has been used in the past many times. Every presidential candidate has had this before. Now, have they all had to use it? No, but that's why they're there. And if somebody's going to go after them for having alternate electors, well, I've got some good stuff for you coming up in the next segment of the Aldonzo and D Show. Because if they're going to go to jail for that, if they're going to be prosecuted for that, I've got a laundry list of people that need to be prosecuted for it, for even thinking about it. Right here when we return on the Aldonzo and D Show on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal.